Hope you're good. Hope you're good. Hope you're good. I make music. I make music. I make music. I make music. I'm doing a song a day challenge with the goals and drop a song a day until the end of the year. I drop 7 songs every Friday. Every Friday, 7 songs. So link in the description if you want to check that out. And I also drop YouTube Shorts clips. So go to my YouTube Shorts tab if you want to, get a taste of what I'm making throughout the year. I dropped something this past Friday, so I'll put a link for that in the description. I was actually thinking about my journey with music so far, and you know what? I'm very pleased with how far I've progressed over the years, I've remained diligent, I've remained disciplined, and the result has been truly beautiful music, I would say. My voice, my singing voice has developed through constant practice, and I'm really proud of that, I never imagined, I would have a decent singing voice now. I know, I want to say I know my limitations, but at the same time, I think I have room to grow, I have room to improve. I'm excited to see how far I'll progress in 5 years' time and what I'll be capable of then. So who knows what my limits are. So I'm not even going to say I know my limits, because I don't know my limits. But I think I can say with confidence that I have a pleasing singing voice. And that's not something I thought I'd be able to say. I started out rapping. I didn't really see myself as a singer, but I've sung so many songs. It's like, how can I not call myself a singer at this point? Should it be ridiculous? I put out a song yesterday that I'm really proud of. The production was crazy. Experimental. Just trying some interesting things. You can check my YouTube Shorts tab if you want to hear that. Really proud of that. Really groovy tune too. Very danceable. Danceable. It's true what they say, man. Practice makes perfect. If there's anything you're trying to do, just put in that time and have a passion for it and put in those hours and you will reap the benefits. I want to have that same level of discipline and dedication to my writing, my book writing. I think if I could have that same level of dedication, oh my god. But I'll get there. I'll give myself time. I have time. I'm very thankful for the time the Lord has given me to do these things. I don't know where I got this book from. Someone wrote a note for someone to dear Gertie, on the occasion of your 16th birthday, love, Molly. I don't know who Molly is. I don't know who Gertie is. This is Oliver Twist. By the way, this book is Oliver Twist. Check out my tunes and let me know what you think. Check out my tunes. Check out my tunes. Check out my tunes. I was watching some videos learning about what is this? Oh. What was I saying? You know, one thing I'm coming to realize is I'm thinking about things like nationality, nationalism, patriotism. And who you ally yourself with and why, you know? I currently live in South Africa. I live in South Africa, South Africa. Home of the likes of Nelson Mandela and Desmond Tutu and the Springboks and Dricus du Plessis and unfortunately Trevor Noah. Elon Musk came from here too. We get to claim that. He was born and raised here, but then he eventually moved to the I think he went to Canada and then came to the States, if I'm not mistaken. There are things I love about South Africa, but there are also like things I'm not so sure about. You know, nations are based on ideas. You build a nation on ideals, on philosophy. And one thing I'm realizing is that we take for granted our own beliefs and our own value systems, you know, and you have to ask yourself, the place where I live, is it in alignment with what I believe? As I'm growing and as I'm learning about what it is I believe, what I want, you know, I'm still cooking. I'm 23, turning 24 in May. I really view myself as 24 at this point because May is so close. May 1st. It's so close that I'm basically 24, which is crazy. I feel like an old man. Which is crazy for me to say. I'm still young, but you know. Realizing that I don't know if I identify with the ideals of this country. Generally speaking, I'm not sure where it's headed. We live in uncertain times in this country, and the government leaves much to be desired. So I'm looking elsewhere. I'm looking where would I want to live. I used to be fascinated with the UK for some time, but now my sights have shifted to Japan and the USA. Japan, I can picture myself like in the countryside, living That's actually weird. No, it's not weird, but like, I just wonder how that would pan out for my career. But I can picture myself living in the countryside, just living a quiet life, and you know, you go to the city when you need to go to the city. But I'm a laid-back kind of guy, and it's like these small towns in the countryside and places like that, those sort of environments suit my personality most. then you can always go to these other places, more colorful, vibrant places. Well, not colorful, but lively, more lively environments when it suits your fancy. I'm learning Japanese now. It's quite a journey. It requires discipline. It's not an easy language to learn, but I'm taking it a day at a time. And I want to go at least once just to see what's going on. And then America, I think America, I think everyone has a vague idea of America, right? Even people that live in America, I think most of them don't really understand their country, like the beauty of their country, and more so the ideals it was founded on. Like they don't understand the value system it was built on, the truly revolutionary ideas, and how unique it is as a country. Like I see a lot of people taking that for granted. This idea that you can question your authorities and speak your mind, and you have so much power as citizens, and there's so much involvement in government. You look at old world Europe. That was not a great time to live, man. The monarchy and these what would have been the bureaucracy back then. They dictated everything, and they did not trust people to make decisions for themselves. So they always made decisions on behalf of the people, because they always believed people are too stupid to lead their own lives. And that always led to all sorts of corruption. Because when all that power is concentrated in this one small group, obviously things go awry. Religion, you weren't allowed to read the Bible by yourself, so the church would withhold the Bible from the general populace, and only the clergymen could disseminate that information. So you never really knew what the Bible said, you just knew what the preacher was telling you. It was only after the advent of the printing press, and Bibles were able to be disseminated freely, that these texts became widely distributed, and that took some fighting. That was met with resistance, but it happened anyway. People were tortured and killed for that. But anyway, those are dark times, and that tradition is still kind of remained in many parts of the world, where there's more freedom, but there's a limit to how much you can question your government. There's a limit to how much input you can have as a citizen. America, it's known as the Great Experiment. Like, you had a bunch of people that separated from the British Commonwealth and made their way to America and founded their own nation, and they fought for independence from the British. And you had African Americans who were slaves, and then they were eventually freed, and you had people from all parts of the world coming together, and they established this nation. And the general idea is that we the people decide the direction of this nation. We the people decide what's best for ourselves, and the government's job is to serve. It's not to reign. It's two different concepts. And what concerns me now is that we're seeing glimpses of old world, not glimpses, not even, it's like, it's a At this point, it's just full-blown manifestations of old world Europe making its way back into the government. People pulling strings behind the scenes where you can elect a president and the president has no power, like Joe Biden. I think anyone who's paying attention, even, it doesn't matter what side you're on, I think anyone who's paying attention can see this guy does not run the country. There are people who are making decisions for him. He's old, he's decrepit. His mind is not all the way there. You can't put sentences together. You can't make his way off the stage. He's not making his own decisions. And then you start to see certain names that are recurring regardless of the administration, and they keep funding certain initiatives and candidates and so on and so forth. The Reid Hoffmans and Larry Finks of the world. And you start to see that, oh snap, it's actually these tech companies that are running things. It's actually these three-letter organizations that are running things. It's actually anyone except the actual people that have been elected into government that are running the show. And in fact, the people that are elected, they're puppets. They dance to the tune of the people that funded their campaigns. Because when you're campaigning and you're going to people, speaking to them directly, saying, vote for me, someone has to fund all their travel, all the events that they throw and whatnot. So people that fund these campaigns and these ads and so on and so forth, they require things in return. It's like, if you win and you make it into office, you better do this, and this for me. There's strings attached. So these people become compromised. And we're seeing a lot of that these days. I mean, it's been like that for a while now, but it's gotten worse and worse and worse and worse, to the point now where it's like you start to wonder what the future of the country is going to be, because I think everyone's noticing how the country's kind of on a steady decline, the USA, which scares me, because when you're considering like places to immigrate to, because you're not satisfied with your own country, and then your best options are kind of falling apart. You're like, oh damn. It's not like there's no options left, but I think it'd be a shame to see such a wonderful country like America just fall away. There's a lot of gaslighting going on by the more liberal media, where it's like everything's fine, the country's doing great. It's not. Your borders are wide open. Millions and millions and millions of people flooding the country in record numbers, by the way. Kids are getting kicked out of school to house illegal immigrants. Funding is being cut in cities in order to accommodate immigrants. So it's like cleaning the parks, funding that's supposed to be used for gang prevention programs, so on and so forth. Things like that. The police, infrastructure, just the general public service delivery, funding gets cut to house immigrants and feed them, clothe them, whatever the case may be. Ship them around, because once they enter the country through the border, they get bussed and flown to different parts of the country and whatnot. So all that costs incredible amounts of money. In New York, the mayor, Eric Adams, announced a plan to spend $53 million to give these immigrants, illegal immigrants, credit cards, so that they can get themselves food and stuff for their babies and whatnot. And it can go up to like $1,000 a month, which is insane. America has cash, bro. $1,000 a month for illegals. And people are complaining that American citizens don't get treated that well. That people who actually are born and raised don't get those sort of benefits. And what blows my mind is there's so many people that live in America that are just completely unaware of what's happening right now. Just wholly unaware, just living in bubbles. And you might feel that there's something wrong, like, oh, my bank account isn't doing too well, and everything's expensive now, and crime is crazy, and there's this and there's that, but like when it comes down to the finer details, people don't really pay attention. And when I hear things like that, when the mayor is asking people, the mayor of New York, for example, is saying like, you might have to consider letting immigrants live in your house with you because we're running out of space and facilities. Imagine that. And these are mostly men, military-aged men, single men. They might have families back in their country, but it's men. Would you just let random men into your house? Women and children, maybe, because they're less likely to be a threat. But the reality of the people that are flooding this country, it's a lot of men, more so than women and children. It's grown-ass men. And I don't know, fam. There's a way for things to be done. When you're entering a country, you do it legally. You adhere to the processes that have been established. And that's how you get into the country, That's how it used to be. Now it's like, seems like anything is permissible these days. And people are concerned, and so many people have entered the country that have been identified on terror watch lists. People have come from countries like Djibouti, Afghanistan, Saudi Arabia, so on and so forth, China, many places. People have come from countries where they literally chant in the streets, "Death to America." And some of these individuals have been identified on terror watch. They've caught some of them, but what about the ones they haven't caught? It's concerning. They're literally terrorists in the country and when you have millions of people pouring into the country, how many has the Biden administration let in the past 3 years? I think it's like 12 million, which is insane. Just an insane number of people. That's insane. And so how many of those are terrorists? Oh my God, it's very scary. People that want to do genuine harm to the country. And in the northern border, which is something, people always talk about the southern border, but the northern border as well, people pass through Canada from various parts of the world, and they bring drugs, fentanyl. The country has a huge fentanyl crisis. Many people, thousands have died from the fentanyl crisis, I think. And there's all sorts of trafficking, child trafficking. Oh my God, America has a serious issue with child trafficking. Do people even know this? Serious issue with child trafficking. It's not a joke. So many children go missing in America. Man. It's very sad. But again, it's because of weakness by the government, particularly by this Biden administration. They do not know what they're doing at all. They demonize Trump, who, for being frank, had the most effective policies. He was curbing a lot of these issues and making good headway too. And they got rid of him, which was a mistake. It's a big mistake. I'm just an outsider looking in. I mean, I'm not some white supremacist. It's like all these ridiculous arguments that people make. I live in South Africa, guys. It's a very black country. If you don't know, very, very black. You'd be surprised if you came here. There's the amount of people that like Donald Trump and support him. Because again, we're outsiders. We're just looking at this objectively, like looking at the country and what it used to be versus what it was. America is loved and hated around the world, but I think it's mostly loved. When we look at what it used to be and what it is now, oh my God, it's sad. It's very sad. It's because the wrong people are leading it right now. They have all these crazy ideas of what they want the country to be, and they're leading it off a cliff. And again, it's someone who wants to move, is considering different places to live. If I'm blessed by the Lord, that's what I'm praying for, that He does bless me in that regard to equip me to immigrate. That's definitely number one on my list. I'm definitely gonna try Japan too. I'm just gonna try it out and see what the vibes are like. If I like it. Yeah, it's sad to see the country falling apart, and I hope that Trump wins this next election, because I know that he will rein everything in and restore order. I think a lot of people are waking up to that the media has been lying to you for a long time. It's just been lying. All these mainstream figures have just been spouting lies. Trump is a demon, he's a this, he's a that, he's a racist, he's a misogynist, he's a all these legal cases against him. It's all bogus, man. One of the people prosecuting him, one of the district attorneys, I think she's the, where is she? Anyway, she's a district of Fani Willis is her name. I don't know which state she operates in. I forget. Is it Michigan? I don't think it's Michigan. I don't know. She's been busted for mismanagement of campaign funds. I mean, trial taxpayer funds that are supposed to be used to fund the case against Donald Trump. Allegedly, she's been sleeping with the main prosecutor. So the guy she hired to prosecute Trump, they have a sexual relationship, allegedly. But you know, they've discovered plane tickets and hotel bookings with both their names on them. So they were traveling together, going to hotels, going to resorts, and so on and so forth. So you put two and two together. Why? And the guy, the prosecutor's ex-wife, said, oh, they were having an affair. That's why I divorced him, because he was sleeping with this woman, this district attorney. It's just like he's being prosecuted by corrupt people who clearly have an agenda against him. You know, they're like, she stated herself, this district attorney, like, my mission is to put this guy in jail, because she knows it'll boost her career. I'm the guy who put Donald Trump in jail. Yada, yada, yada. I'm the guy who took Donald Trump down. I'm the woman who took Donald Trump down. She wants to claim the scalp for esteem and power and recognition, but she's corrupt. Clearly. I don't think anyone's denying that. I think everyone who's looking at this case is just more and more mounting evidence. There was leaked audio of this other woman who worked in that district attorney's office saying, this other person in our building is mismanaging taxpayer funds. We're supposed to be using it for these programs and those programs. He's talking about he wants to get computers and he wants to get swag and he wants to go on trips and so on and so forth. And I'm telling him, we can't do that. That's not what the money is for. Yada, yada, yada. And then Fani Willis fired that woman. These people are corrupt. And just similar stories like this. E. Jean Carroll accused Donald of the R word. She is a dodgy character by herself. She's clearly not mentally stable. You just look into her history. She lives in a forest. Has cats named Vagina or something. She paints rocks and she's very strange, but she's has a history of accusing people of different things as well. And she accused Donald of assaulting her in a department store changing room, which the story in and of itself is it does. So she said this happened in the 90s. She came forward really recently with these accusations. This happened in the 90s apparently. It's funny how this sort of stuff works. Okay, just to highlight the ridiculousness of her claims, this happened in a department store changing room. Very public place. No one heard anything. no one saw anything. Or everyone was in on it. That's a very sinister plot. To rape this woman in a department store changing room. Okay, 30 years ago. It happened 30 years ago. She never said anything for decades. And then now, okay, now she says something. When there's money to be made. And on top of all that, she has no evidence whatsoever. So it's literally just her word against hers. And the judge and her lawyer have a personal relationship. Okay. Oh, and by the way, that judge is the same judge who presided over the case of Virginia Govey versus Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew, if you don't know, is a known pedophile, a UK royal family, known pedophile, had strong ties to Jeffrey Epstein, was on Epstein Island. Everyone knows this guy's history with children. Virginia Govey accused him of assaulting her as a child. Guess what happened with that case? It was dismissed. Prince Andrew got away with it. Famous case. Same judge. This guy's compromised. He's clearly corrupt. And you can accuse someone of something that happened 3 decades ago, and everyone, with no evidence, by the way, there's zero evidence. And we're just supposed to believe the accuser. With no evidence. There's no evidence. It happened 3 decades ago. Whatever is here, you're gonna have. And while he wasn't charged for that, he was fined for defamation because he was calling her names and stuff on Twitter, I guess, or on Truth Social, which is what he uses. I don't know. And he was ordered to pay $83 million. $16 million for the crime of defamation, I guess, and then the rest in punitive charges, so further punishment, I guess. $83 million for defamation. Does that make sense to you? If you accuse me of, I'll just say rape, and I call you names, I'm like, you're a lying B-word, or whatever the case may be. I don't know, I'm angry. That's not what he said, but you know. She's lying. She's accusing me of something I didn't do. And then you order me to pay $83 million because I harassed her and I called her mean things. How's that not corrupt? And the judge has a personal relationship with the prosecutor. He knew the prosecutor. He was the prosecutor's mentor back in university days or something like that. So there's a conflict of interest in the case, and there were several other dodgy circumstances surrounding that case that just compromise it entirely. Where at the very least they have to withdraw the decision and do a retrial. At best, they throw out the entire case because the defendant, or I guess the prosecutor side, the E.G. Carroll, she's dodgy, not of sound mind. Just look into, you don't have to believe, just look into her history. And then the person prosecuting Trump, judge of a personal relationship, so that, and they didn't disclose that during the trial. So that calls into question all sorts of things, and people don't know this. People just hear what the media tells them. Donald Trump, bad man, bad, orange man, bad. That's all people know. Think about it. Most people that hate this guy were told to hate him. I'm an outsider, so I have a more objective view. I don't sit in the TV and watch CNN and MSNBC and CBS and all these crazy networks all day, every day. So I'm not brainwashed. I'm just looking at it from the outside looking in. I'm like, okay, what's really going on here? I'm like, man, this is not right. So it's political persecution, and I just fear for the country, man, because they know if they let this guy back in power, he's going to change things. He's gonna fix everything. Because the country was doing better under him. There were no new wars. Everything was going swimmingly. Everything was going swimmingly. So we'll see what happens. I actually pray for America every day. I really do. Every morning I wake up and I pray. And one of my prayers is that America survives. It's not doing well right now. That it roots out the terrorists that have infiltrated it. That it fixes all its issues with regards to the poverty and the drugs and the homelessness and the this and the that. And that it just restores itself to its former glory. That the right person wins the election. And that God just watches over it. Gives it 200 more years, 300 more years of success. That things don't end now, but they have hundreds of more years of flourishing ahead of them. That's always my prayer for the country. I should probably pray those sort of prayers for South Africa where I live, but like I said, I'm kind of tapped out mentally. I'm looking elsewhere. Just philosophically, I just feel I'm not aligned with the values of this country. So yeah, anyway. You know what it was when we started allying ourselves with Russia and China and countries like that, these communist nations, I was like, okay, I see what's going on here. South Africa's always kind of been socialist in its leanings. Not always, but as of late, yeah, it's become very socialist. Half the country's on welfare, which is not good. It's not a good sign. And I'm not trying to have that. I'm not trying to hear that. So, just looking for alternatives. Live elsewhere. Y'all do you, I'll do me. That kind of vibe. Anyway, rambled a lot in this video. I had a lot to say. I like America as a country. That's why I talk about it so much. Hope to live this someday. Things go well for it. Let me pray and get out of here. Dear God, thank you for this individual watching this right now. Thank you for making them whole and unique and kindly on a path towards peace, prosperity, and purpose. Thank you for blessing this person with good people who love them, take care of them, and bring the best out of them as you're maintaining the ones that are there ready to do the same thing. Thank you for blessing this individual with the spirit of gratitude so that they can be aware of all the wonderful things in their life. Just count everything good in their life and give thanks for those things. And by giving thanks, they can find peace and contentment and attract even more blessings. Thank you that your presence is felt in this individual's life, that they know that you're God, that you're real, that you're loving them, that you're taking care of them. Good health, long life, and happiness over this individual and everyone they care about. In your mighty name we pray. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.